Today on Public Eye News, firearm deer season starts this weekend, and the U.S. has stopped minting pennies.
I will have your weather forecast for today. Later, Emma Moratz will bring you today's sports breakdown. I'm Colin Morrison.
And I'm Emma Moratz. You're watching Public Eye News. Starting on November 15th, firearm deer hunting season will begin statewide. The hunting season runs until November 30th. Last year, over 180,000 deer were reported during the two-week period. Starting December 1st, late segment archery season begins. It will be followed by muzzleloader season and late antlerless firearm season along with others. The Michigan DNR has a variety of resources on their website, including how to report a hunted deer. The Michigan State Police also encourages drivers to not use their high beams when driving at night, buckle up and drive at a safe speed, and do not swerve if a deer crosses the road. A group of students from Michigan Technological University did a study on Isle Royale National Park. The students studying geospatial engineering went during late August to get information about the Isle. The group took information about water depths and the electrical lines. Before the students came, the electrical lines, located underground, were not mapped. With the new information, the park staff understand where they should not dig. During the group's 4 days in the park, they also measured the water depth of over 30 different docks. Isle Royale is mainly undisturbed land, and the only way to get to the park is by boat.
A new member of the Wild Pups Animal Assisted Intervention Program has arrived, this time being a wild cat. The Wild Pups therapy dogs that are known for spreading positivity, joy, and cuteness are newly joined by Luna, a tortie cat belonging to NMU social work major Emily DeForge. Emily has been with Luna for years and has been with her through thick and thin. Luna has been constantly praised for being adventurous, social, and being very sweet, albeit sassy. Emily credits the Wild Pups program with helping her on multiple occasions and wishes to pay it forward by certifying Luna as a wild pup. If you wish to see DeForge and Luna, their first joint appearance will happen from noon to 1 p.m. Saturday, November 15th at the Holistic Health Fair at NMU campus. Aspirus Ironwood Hospital has upgraded their facilities, adding a computed tomography unit, more commonly known as a CT scanner, to their facility. CT scanners are X-ray imaging machines that produce detailed 3D scans of patients' bodies. These scans can examine internal injuries, diagnose some diseases, and map broken bones precisely. Beth Gravunder, Director of Imaging Services at the Aspirus Ironwood Hospital, said patient experience and care is always the top priority of the hospital, and that adding a CT scanner was an essential part of delivering the best possible care to the patients in Ironwood. The addition of this machine also lowers travel cost and time for patients in the Ironwood area, allowing rural patients to receive care easily. And 6 House Democrats joined almost all Republicans to support sending the Senate-approved measure to the president's desk. Now, the functions of government are beginning to get back to normal. CBS News' Natalie Brand has the latest.
Shutdown-related air travel impacts aren't over quite yet. Airline sources tell CBS News it could take 24 to 48 hours to ramp back up to full service once the FAA lifts its flight reduction at 40 major airports. Still, travelers are breathing a sigh of relief that the weeks-long shutdown is finally over.
It's good that they're back to work. Hopefully things get done.
With everything going back now, so just seeing how things flush out. So we hope all goes well.
More than 670,000 furloughed federal employees are returning to work. 730,000 others worked without pay.
The members that I represent, they are ecstatic. They are happy that the government's open. They can now get back to life. They can get back to business. They can make sure that there's food on the table.
The tens of millions of Americans who rely on federal food assistance should see their full SNAP benefits soon. A USDA spokesperson told CBS News recipients in most states will get their benefits within 24 hours.
That clock started with President Trump's signature on the funding measure late last night, but there's still a fight over Democrats' health care demands, which were not part of the bill.
The Affordable Care Act tax credits expire on December 31st. We have to continue to press our case to compel Republicans to deal with this.
President Trump Wednesday night said he would be willing to work with the other side on health care, but took aim at the Affordable Care Act.
It all includes fixing the health care system that Democrats broke with the disaster known as Obamacare. Obamacare was a disaster from day one.
The Senate deal to end the shutdown included the promise of a vote on health care in early December. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with your weather and national news after this short break.
We are in the very midst of a revolution, the most complete, unexpected, and remarkable of any in the history of nations. Objects of the most stupendous magnitude, and measures in which the lives and liberties of millions yet unborn are intimately interested, are now before us. John Adams.
Welcome back. I'm Colin Morrison here with your statewide weather today. Up here we got our campus cam. See, not too much activity, but it is sunny and it is warm out. Now on our statewide map, starting in Houghton here, got a bit of windy weather, 48 degrees here. To Ironwood, it's sunny. You're going to see a trend of sun here. 47 degrees. Then in Iron Mountain, 50 and sunny. In Menominee, 51 degrees, also sunny. Moving over to the other side of our map, you'll see Escanaba, 51 degrees, sunny. Manistee breaks this by being partly cloudy, by being 51 degrees as well. In the Sioux, we got 43 degrees and cloudy, and back in Marquette, 46 degrees and sunny. Current conditions, we got winds coming from the west at 16 miles an hour. Our pressure's 29.98 inches and rising. For tonight, it's going to get cloudy and it's going to get cold. Lows of 32, winds coming from the west at 5 miles an hour, and our moon phase is waning crescent. Tomorrow, gets sunny again and hot. 51 degrees at our highest and 41 at the lowest, winds coming from the south at 10 miles an hour. Looking ahead, we're going to have some warm and some cold, a mix here. 51 of the high on Saturday. It's going to be rainy though, so watch out, bring your raincoats. 36 at the lowest. On Sunday, our snow is coming back, our good old friend, 37 at the highest, 34 at the lowest. And the sun's going to break through the clouds there, partly cloudy Monday, 37 at the highest, 32 at the lowest. That's all I have for weather. Now back to our desk.
Thank you, Colin, for that weather update. Looks like temperatures might be hot for a little bit longer. Now on to national news. For the first time since 1857, a coin has stopped production. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia has announced that the penny is no longer being produced. When the penny was introduced in 1793, the coin could buy a lot, including a piece of candy. More recently, the penny cost 4 cents to make, compared to the nickel that cost almost 14 cents to make. While pennies are still of legal use, there will no longer be any pennies created. Stores across the country have rounded prices to avoid not having the right change for shoppers. The last coin that had stopped being produced was the half cent back in 1857. The last few pennies that were produced were placed on a tray and are set to be auctioned off. The Federal Flight Administration, or FAA, says that flight reductions will remain at 6% instead of going up to 10% at over 40 major airports. This comes after the United States ended its longest government shutdown in history Wednesday night. The FAA says that airport employees are coming back to work slowly. Since Friday, November 10th, over 10,000 flights have been canceled. Over 24 states have been affected by the flight cancellations, including Los Angeles and New York. The 6% limit will stay in effect until working conditions are safe and airports can be fully operational once again. Turning now to new questions about President Trump's relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. In a new batch of private emails released by Democratic lawmakers yesterday, Epstein alleges Trump, quote, knew about the girls, although it's not clear exactly what that means. CBS News' Scott McFarlane has more.
More than 6 years after disgraced and convicted sex predator Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide, U.S. House Democrats released on Wednesday a series of his private messages mentioning President Trump.
I think pretty serious stuff, disturbing stuff in these emails.
The emails include this one from Epstein to his co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell in 2011, in which he wrote that Trump had spent hours at my house with one of Epstein's victims. The White House identified that victim as Virginia Giuffre, who said she was recruited by Maxwell while working at Mar-a-Lago and died by suicide in April.
Jeffrey was a sick pedophile.
But in a 2016 deposition, Giuffre said she didn't think Donald Trump participated in anything. And in a separate newly released message from 2019, Epstein wrote to author Michael Wolff about Trump. Of course he knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop, though it's unclear what exactly he had asked her to stop doing. Wolff, whose writings have sparked controversy in the past, reacted to the email Wednesday night on a podcast with the Daily Beast.
Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein had this deep relationship. They knew everything about each other. Their obsession was women, girls, models.
The emails were part of approximately 23,000 pages of records handed over by Epstein's estate to the Republican-led House Oversight Committee under subpoena. Trump has frequently denied any wrongdoing, and he's dismissed calls to release more information.
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends.
The White House downplayed Trump and Epstein's relationship and blasted Democrats for cherry-picking excerpts.
Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep.
Meanwhile, a bipartisan group of lawmakers are one step closer to a vote to release all of the Epstein case files held by the Department of Justice. After Democratic Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva of Arizona was finally sworn in Wednesday after nearly 2 months of waiting and became the decisive signature on a petition to force that vote.
With my signing, we move one step closer to the truth that they will try to deny, but that survivors deserve.
Some Epstein survivors were in the House chamber yesterday as the Congress reconvened. They've been pushing for more transparency. The House Speaker says a vote on this measure to release files could come as early as next week, which would then add pressure to the Senate to do the same. Scott McFarland, CBS News, Alexandria, Virginia.
We'll be right back with your sports report after this short break. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, I'm Ken Burns. To make our film resources even easier to use, we've now created Ken Burns in the Classroom on PBS Learning Media. There you can find hundreds of video clips from our films, as well as lesson plans, activities, discussion questions, handouts, and interactives to help you integrate the films into your classroom instruction. I hope you find these resources helpful. Thanks for doing what you do.
Once again, I'm Emma Ratz here with your Thursday Sports Breakdown. The GLIAC Soccer Conference Tournament is still underway, and NMU has made it to the semifinal after an incredible victory over Purdue Northwest last weekend that not only went to double overtime, but 8 rounds of penalty kicks in the shootout. At the host and number 1 seeded team Saginaw Valley State, NMU will be facing 2-seeded Roosevelt for the rights to the faceoff in the championship. The faceoff is set for this Friday at 2 p.m. Passing it over to Northern basketball, the men's team starts their season this weekend. NMU has large expectations for this season after taking home the GLIAC championship last season. Luckily for NMU, a large portion of last year's core is returning for this season, including the Big Three, which consists of Dylan Keel, Jackson Dudek, and Sam Privet. Dudek is the reigning GLIAC tournament MVP, along with Keel, who earned preseason All-GLIAC honors. The team is hoping to get the first 2 wins under their belt, with their first matchup against Maryville in the Wisconsin Dells. Finishing with NMU women's basketball, the team is preparing for their second weekend of play and will be facing Upper Iowa and Lewis on Friday and Saturday at 6 p.m. respectively. During opening weekend, the Wildcats took part in the CCA Tip-Off Classic in Pennsylvania and left with a 3-0 record, beating California of Pennsylvania, Gannon, and Edinburgh. Look out for JC Westbrook on offense as she tallied up 51 points on offense, including 11 threes during the weekend series. On the other side of the court, look for Sydney Whitehouse as she tallied up 3 blocks and 3 steals during the series as well.
How about that sports, the basketball between NBA, college, women's, men's, it's all coming together here?
I'm super excited that basketball is back, but I hear you have another story for us.
I do. The NMU Visiting Writers Series is continuing tonight. Jonathan Johnson will be visiting the Peter White Public Library Shiras Room to read his works and will be joined by NMU's Sarah Daniels, who recently won the Ron Johnson Memorial Award in Creative Writing. This event will happen tonight from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m.
That's all we have here at Public Eye News. I'm Emma Moratz.
And I'm Colin Morrison.
We'll see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.